Hello friends, Namaskar and welcome to Dr.RAjeshverma's YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be talking about the introduction to statistics part 1. So, the statistics is a very important discipline, and being a psychology student, you need to know the basics of statistics. Why it is important for the student of psychology to know the statistics? Do not worry, I'll discuss this point too. So we'll be starting with meaning, definition, various characteristics, types, branch and all everything, but we'll be discussing the total introductory part of statistics in 2 videos. First one, part 1. Now let us move with some quotes, just the quotes which are very much pertinent to the today's video, that is introduction to statistics. First one, it is given by the P.C. Mahalanobis, the man who revolutionized Indian statistics. He said that statistics must have a clearly defined purpose, one aspect of which is scientific advance and the other human welfare and national development. So these are the 3 important contributions of statistics P.C. Mahalanobis understands and seems to promote. That is the scientific advancements, it's a natural one. Human welfare, it's true, but the most important one is national development, means the statistics must contribute in the development of the particular or the nation. So this was important quote. Then the Carl Pearson, the all-time great, that statistics is the grammar of science, means you cannot understand science without the statistics. Statistics provides meaning, it provides syntax, it provides the how to place the scientific terms at appropriate locations. That is done by the statistics. It's a very important quote, that statistics is the grammar of science. And the third one is by Mark Twain. He said, facts are stubborn things. How they stubborn? Facts means facts. If you know 7 multiplied by 2 will be 14, it's a fact. But statistics are palpable, means they are liable to speak something, they are liable to say something, they are liable to be manipulated, they are liable to be inference, that inference can be drawn from the statistic. So important, these are the 3 important quotes as far as the introduction to statistics is concerned. Now let us define what is statistics. So first definition is the statistics refers to a branch of mathematics which specializes in enumeration data and their relation to metric data. There are 2 major functions given by the Guilford and Fracture, that is the enumeration data and their relation to metric data. What is the data, how to enumerate the data, and how that enumerated data relates to the metric data. That is the basic purpose, and all you can say is the statistics. Second one is the given by the Barron. Mathematical procedures used to describe data and draw inferences from them. So Barron specifically focuses on the statistics as a type of mathematical procedures, the mathematical activity. Then that activity is employed for the description of a data and drawing inferences from the description of data. So that is the one of the important aspect or the important definitions of the statistics. So my dear friends, now that pertinent question, why a psychology student who is deeply engrossed in the studying of the human mind, human behavior, animal behavior and all related mental aspects, so that student why need to study statistics? What is the reason for that? Owing to the dynamic nature and uncertainty of human behavior. My dear friends, you must know that human behavior is dynamic, and it's highly dynamic, and it's lots of uncertainty involved in this human behavior. The psychology researchers, due to this, they find it extremely difficult to conduct purely objective laboratory experiments. The basic reason for studying the statistics is that human behavior is uncertain. It's a dynamic, and the thing which is uncertain and so highly dynamic it becomes a bit difficult for these researchers to study that particular phenomena in the controlled environment or the laboratories. So what to do there? And the social researcher need to study that and explain the human behavior, because to explain, to predict human behavior, it's a very much pertinent that the researcher has to do the experiments in the laboratory in the controlled environment. And for how to overcome that? To overcome all this, psychologists resort to study in a controlled environment and then apply various rigorous statistical methods to predict the probability of occurrence of specific type of behavior. So to prediction for the behavior, that psychological researchers, they apply the statistical techniques and they apply rigorous statistical techniques so that the particular behavior can be predicted. So you must understand that the psychology students must read, study and master the basic applied statistics. As you know, the Guilford and Fletcher rightly commented that statistical methods are the constant companion of experiments and of course of psychologists too, because you want to predict human behavior, you have to go to laboratory to control the environment, and you know the behavior is so dynamic and so uncertain. So to do that, to study the human behavior, for the predicting of that, we need to resort to statistical procedures. And what are some more reasons that we must study, that psychology students study that statistics, is to read and understand the advanced research reports. If you want to comprehend the advanced research reports, you must know the statistics, because researchers frequently apply and administer the statistical technique to understand the particular phenomena. And for that, if you want to study that, you want to read the advanced research, you must know the basic understanding of the statistics. The second reason, to be a researcher, we need to know statistics, because if you want to research, it is not this, if you are a psychology student, one day you are going to become a psychology researcher. A researcher has to come under the umbrella of statistics. You cannot escape. Each and every researcher has to understand the meaning of statistics and they have to apply that as far as your psychology is concerned. The third reason, statistics helps in exploring causal relations. Why particular phenomena causes that particular effect? To understand cause and effect phenomena, the statistics are must. Fourth one, statistics is known to develop analytical, reasoning and critical thinking ability. Means if you know statistics, if you understand the statistics, basic statistics, then certainly you are at the front, at the higher point than those who do not know in the analytical aspect, in the reasoning factor or in the critical thinking ability. And science demands all these things, all these capacities and abilities in an individual. You must have analytical ability, good reasoning ability and solid critical thinking ability. If you cannot criticize you cannot submit your suggestions, critical suggestions, certainly science cannot develop, you cannot contribute. Science, it's a beautiful thing, it creates the things, it discovers the things, and after that it discards these things by the virtue of being self-critical. So if you want to be a good researcher, you must understand and you must know the basic statistics. Now, so these were the basic reasons why a psychology student should know the statistics. So you know that. Now let us move to the historical perspective from the Indian point of view. So India, you know, is a cultural hub of the world, and along with that scientific hub too. So from that point of view, now let us know something about the statistics which has been existing in Indian literature from thousands of years. This is I am not telling. This is not my statement. Someone said, someone who of a repute, the man who established Indian Statistical Institute. Now that institute was visited by the various distinguished, renowned statisticians. So we will be discussing that point. First, let us discuss the historical perspective of statistics from the Indian point of view. The fundamental aim of statistics is to give a determinate and adequate knowledge of reality with the help of numbers and numerical analysis. That is the role of statistics, for which the statistics has been formed. In India, we have clear evidence that administrative statistics had reached a high state of organization before the 300 BCE, before Christian era. So, you know, in the Arthashastra of Kautilya, you know, Chanakya, the duties of the Gopa, the village accountant, that include by setting up boundaries to villages, by numbering plots of grounds as cultivated, uncultivated, plains, wetlands, gardens, vegetable gardens, fences, forest altars, temples of gods, irrigation works, cremation grounds, feeding houses, satra, that is known as in Indian Sanskrit language, the feeding houses are known as the satra, places where water is freely supplied to travelers, prapa, places of pilgrimage, pasture grounds and roads, and thereby fixing the boundaries of various villages, of fields, of forests, and of the roads. He shall register gifts, sales, charities, and remission of taxes regarding fields. My dear viewers, these are the words of P.C. Mahalanobis. So, the administrative statistics was being used in Indian system, Indian management, managing the various aspects of administration. That statistics has been used more than 300 BC prior to 300 BC too. So that was the reason why statistics was important, and statistics from the perspective of Indian historical background. By the time you must have understand the meaning and little bit definition and history of the statistics, I'll introduce you. Statistics must be essential part of professional training because it is a tool. Statistics, you know, is a tool, an implement that enables researchers to summarize the results in a meaningful and convenient form. Means when you get some data, that data has to be organized, something has to be retrieved from the data so that it can become meaningful and convenient. The statistics helps the researcher in standardizing the procedures, analysis of data and causal factors which I discussed previously, summarizing results, generalization of results and prediction. Statistics has a variety of applications such as analysis, finding out the causal relations, summarizing the results, generalization of results and prediction of the particular behavior or particular aspects. So statistics has a very crucial role to play in the experiments, in the research. In social sciences and psychology, various statistical techniques are used such as measuring central tendencies, correlations, regression and analysis of variance, etc., etc. And one important thing, one of the factor analysis technique that comes under the applied statistics is introduced, invented or discovered by the psychologist Charles Spearman. Later it has been developed by various peoples of repute, that is Thurston and others. So the only statistical technique given by psychologists is the factor analysis. It's a very, very important dimension reduction technique. Though we're not going to go deep in that because that particular today's video topic is introduction to statistics. So that will be beyond the scope of this present video. Now all this is achieved only when we have certain type of classified or categorized data because it acts as a raw material for the statistical procedures. Statistical techniques are the tools, whereas the collected data, first is the raw data, then it is classified and organized or categorized into various categories, and that becomes the raw material for the statistical procedures. The raw data is arranged in various categories such as frequencies, percentages, proportions and ratios. So I'll be talking about a little bit in detail in the next videos, but in brief I'll be talking what are the frequencies. It's a simple one. Number of objects or events in a specific category, that is the frequency of that particular class interval or the class object. Then percentage, a kind of mathematical index with base 100. You know what is percentage? It's a mathematical index and its base is always 100. As I told you, if you take an example, if you score 400 marks out of 500 and someone scores 600 out of 1000, and if you ask someone who do not know about the percentages or some statistics, who has scored more, certainly he will say he scored more, 600. But when it comes to the percentage, if you tell the individual in terms of percentage, you say this individual scored 60% and this scored 80%. Now tell me who scored more. He says certainly he scored, the person who scored 80% scored more. So this is the beauty of percentage. It's a kind of index with the base 100. Now comes the proportions. It's a part or fraction of 1. Remember, and 1 by 100 of a percentage, or percentage is 100 times proportion. Its base is 1. And the fourth one is the ratios. There is a difference between ratio and proportion. But the difference is very thin, very fine. So you must understand the difference between ratio and proportion. I told you proportion, now I will explain you the ratio. Ratio is a fraction, whereas proportion is a part or fraction, both. That is, ratio of m to n is m by n. Its base is 1 as the base in the proportion. The base for the both proportions and ratio is 1. Ratio is part to total as well as part. Means ratio is a part of total as a part, whereas proportion is part to total. Means ratio is part to total as well as part, whereas proportion is only part to total. Proportion is a kind of special ratio. So to understand these points, these differences, these statistical important terms, you must go through them again and again, and you must watch this video again and again. And now we'll be discussing the types of statistics. These are the two types: non-parametric statistics and parametric statistics. So what are the non-parametric statistics? Statistical tests which are not based on normal distribution of data or on any other assumption are also known as the distribution free test, and data are generally ranked or grouped. So this is a brief definition of non-parametric statistics. I'll let you know the guru mantra to remember the non-parametric statistics. Means non-parametric means no probability distribution. You can remember like that. Means when the data set that doesn't follow the or meets the assumptions of probability distribution, or is also known as the distribution free data, that is known as the non-parametric statistics. It is used where your data is in ranks or in groups or in order. When the data is in ranks, order or groups, at that time we administer non-parametric statistics. Okay? So what is parametric? It's opposite to non-parametric, or non-parametric is opposite to parametric. You can say anything, it depends upon you. So statistical tests which are based on normal distribution of data or data that meets the normal distribution assumptions. Similar as I told you, non-parametric statistics, the data or the statistical test that doesn't meet the normal probability distribution are known as the non-parametric statistics. Whereas the parametric statistics, the data set or the statistical test that meets the assumptions of normal distribution are known as the parametric statistics. Parametric test normally involves data in absolute numbers or values. There is no rank orders or categories. Data has to be in absolute numbers. Absolute number means 32, 21, 1001 or 101 or 109 or 908. That is absolute numbers. Where the rank, first rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, that is the rank. Order, first order, second order, third order, fourth order. So categories, gents and ladies, male and female, boys and girls, day and night. These are categories. So if data is in the categories of the rank and order, ranks and orders, in that case we apply non-parametric statistics. But when the data is in absolute values, terms, and then it meets the assumptions of normal distribution, then we use the parametric statistics or parametric test. So dear friends, here it ends the introduction to statistics part 1. In part 2 we will be discussing some more. These are my references, you can always cross check them, and the next discussion will be introduction to statistics part 2. So you must, to understand the complete picture of statistics, you must watch both the videos successively. So in the end I would like to say that if you like this video, share with your friends. But if you want to say something, if you dislike it, then share with me. How you can share? You can write in my comment box, and you can email me at vermasudit@yahoo.com. By the time, my dear friends, thank you for watching this video.